can see why President Trump picked him. You can see this was by far the best performance because President Trump was so successful in his first term. All we have to do is get him back. All we have to do is get President Trump back. We can turn the country around. Another thing that JD Vance did tonight, he restored hope. There are millions of Americans who've given up hope that things will never get better, that they're not going to be able to afford things in the future. We're not going to be able to bring down the cost of groceries or bring down the cost of gas. We're not going to be able to make our communities safe. But that's exactly what JD Vance and Donald Trump will do. They will make our communities safe. The other thing, too, I think what was exposed tonight is that Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, they're all slogans. There's no substance to any of it. And on answer after answer, Kamala Harris's ticket had nothing to say. But JD Vance showed that the Trump-Vance vision is what's going to save this country.
Excuse me.
I want to get out of here.
Can you hold this one up there? No. Seriously. People out there. Okay. All right. Tell us, I guess just your initial first impression. We're just getting out.
Well, first, what a great ending. I think Tim Walz really nailed it on what's disqualifying about Donald Trump and JD Vance. That Donald Trump didn't honor a free and fair election once. And unlike the Honorable Mike Pence, JD Vance did not say that he would break it all with Donald Trump and honor the will of the American people. That's disqualifying right then and there. On issue after issue during the debate, Tim Walz pounded away on what we're going to do to reduce health care costs, protecting our freedom, our right to choose, and so many other points. But I think the end really brought it home about what's disqualifying about Donald Trump and JD Vance.
I think there was a lot of substantive debate. Can you just tell us about the styles of
Well, very different. I mean, obviously, if you're picking a used car salesman, you'd want JD Vance, right? I've been in business. If I ran a car dealership, he's the guy. So you get a slick politician versus a coach, dad, military veteran, and I think that really shined through. Tim Walz is who he is. I've known him for well over a decade. I served with him for 10 years in Congress. This is somebody who's authentic, right? He's not going to be slick. He's not going to be having shifty eyes like JD Vance. He told it. He spoke from the heart on issues that matter to him and really brought it home for the American people.
Who won this election? Sorry.
All right. We don't know who won the election. Again, I think the ending was really the most important.
This falls deterrence. I think with this being the news cycle right now is important for JD. Time and again, over and over, JD, Kamala Harris, and Tim Walz for being all slogans and no substance. But what he also very successfully did was show that with President Trump, we had a great economy, we had a secure border, and when we get President Trump back, we can change all of this immediately. We can bring it all back and make it better. The important thing, Byron, you're a student of the game. You've been doing this for a couple of years. A lot of Americans have given up hope. Many Americans just don't think things are ever going to get better. You can ask anyone on the street, do you think your personal economic situation is going to get better? And many Americans say no. They've given up. They've almost quit. But what JD Vance was able to show is with President Trump and Vance, with their policies, America can be great again. We can do this, and it can start on day one.
But this was 90 minutes into the...
Between the candidates, between Walz and Vance, you were involved
involved in preparation. So that's something you advised him to veer away from personal attacks on Walz and focus more on policy. There's even points where he said, "I agree with you on this, but
Now, JD Vance is a natural. That's the reason why President Trump picked him. President Trump frequently refers to JD Vance as being the best athlete on the board, to use NFL draft terms. But the reason why President Trump likes JD Vance so much is because, like himself, he's true to his vision. And that's what you saw tonight. There's a clear Trump-Vance vision. There is no Kamala Harris, Tim Walz vision. And again, that's why I think Kamala Harris is tonight probably saying, I wish I picked Josh Shapiro.
Do you think President Trump would give a cue on the tone front, on the civility tone that we heard from JD Vance tonight and Tim Walz?
Well, different folks have different styles. And I think the other thing, too, is with President Trump, he has to use those tough words to call out the chaos that's happening at our southern border, the way that every community in America has been turned into a border community. If you want to cut through and you want to get that point across, you have to use tough language. And this isn't powder puff football. We have people who are being, hold on 1 second. Family, do you think the families of Lake and Riley, Jocelyn Nunbury, Rachel Morin, do they think that maybe if we had leaders in the White House who had some real policies and kept our border secure, that their loved ones would still be with us? They probably would rather have that.
My point is,
okay,
Senator Vance was able to kind of disagree civilly, and so just.
Who are you guys with?
Reuters.
Reuters? We've got a couple folks if you want to talk to them.
Who do you have?
Harris campaign communications director is here. Governor Walz is here. Senator
We
Kelly.
we spoke to Governor Walz.
Walz, great.
So I'm sorry, I'm just checking my. We're going to try to get in on this, I think.
Do your thing.
Okay.
He's actually a former
Stopped by my predecessor. He stood up to Donald Trump. He's still in place. Kamala Harris also helped bring down the price of prescription drugs, especially for seniors, by prescription drug price negotiations. So out-of-pocket expenses have come down. They're going to come down more under Project 2025. That's going to go away.
Abortion is considered a winning issue for Democrats usually. Do you think that Walz delivered tonight? Do you think he hit the home run that he wanted to hit?
100%. I think he hit the grand slam on that issue, made it perfectly clear to the American people where Donald Trump and JD Vance stand, and that is they do not stand with American women, and it is putting women at risk. There are women dying across our country. Governor Walz mentioned one of them in Georgia, who has died because Donald Trump took away the right of a woman to make this decision between her and her doctor.
Senator, was the governor's answer on China good enough in your mind?
Which part?
About whether he was actually there in 1989.
You're talking, I think the question is,
That's why parents are sending their kids now to those schools and not being
Vance is going to come.
Yes, you saw it skyrocketing.
Maybe we should go to the front because
See
finish
that?
from
So
that.
we'll see here.
maybe.
No, that's not. Let's try to get this.
I'm hoping so. Well, the moderators are supposed to be fair. I think they started off unfair. I mean, I think they started back then. We dealt with that much worse, obviously, with my father. That stopped.
thankfully, because JD, again, he called it out. They had to cut off the noise. He was 100% on the facts. They got it wrong, but it doesn't matter. We understand that bias. We don't expect an unbiased debate on mainstream television these days or from the mainstream media. That's just a fact of life at this point. We understand we're always going to be on a more difficult playing field that way. Tonight, it didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. It was just a blowout, so it was great to see.
Are you convinced that that'll be the final word?
Producer, the travel pool, PJ, and the travel pool ring for the campaign. So,
Okay.
So they don't even know what they're doing either because of the consolation.
What's wrong? I think we should stay up here.
Maybe I will need this just for the time.
Yep.
The ladder.
Yeah, but I don't know where it's so.
I will kick you out, please.
Whose stool is this?
It's mine.
Okay.
It's mine.
Somebody's going to eat it on
Yeah.
Bill, I think if you're up there, it doesn't matter where I am. Just stay there and I'll find you.
You're live, so just.
All right, I mean.
That's his YouTube.
I'll send it as soon as you see him. Just tell me. Okay, send it. Here you
Incoming.
go.
Back. Let's go.
Everyone's pushing. I understand.
I'll let you get in front of me. Yeah, I'm ready.
Take her spot.
Yes, of course.
I'm not gonna say it. Sorry guys, we're gonna do a hit right here, so just FYI. We're doing a hit. How soon will?
Yeah, Tom, he's sitting down.
How soon will? How soon?
Yep.
Will, just speak loud. Yeah, Anderson, thank you. I am here in the spin room. It is very crowded. As you can tell, understandably. And for those who don't know, the spin room is where surrogates come after a debate is finished to spin their respective candidates' performance. We saw a slew of them come in the door, both on the Vance side and the Walz side. But right now, something notable is happening, which is that Senator Vance himself is inside the spin room. This is not a last-minute decision like it was for Donald Trump to come into the spin room after that last debate that he had with Vice President Harris. JD Vance had already planned to come into the the spin room, regardless of how this debate went. But I've been talking to a few allies of the former president and of JD Vance's, saying that they believe he had a strong performance in this debate tonight, that they achieved what he actually came here to do. Of course, there's a big question of whether or not it actually moves the electorate any. We didn't really see that after the Harris-Trump debate, so that's a big question here. I will tell you that we heard some Democrats coming in as well. The governor of Colorado, Jared Polis, is in here. Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota. One answer that Amy Klobuchar was focusing on when she first came in the room was not on what Tim Walz said before in this debate, but was focusing on how that debate ended, that question there at the end about January 6th and how Governor Walz was talking about that in comparison to how Senator Vance was framing that. So that seems to be the initial reaction so far here in the spin room. Democrats are going to focus on that last exchange there where Vance did not acknowledge that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Meanwhile, the Trump surrogates came in here quite happy. Several senators, also several campaign advisors, praising JD Vance's performance. There's a question, Anderson, tonight, an open one, of whether or not what happened on that debate stage changes Donald Trump's view of the debates and if it encourages him to potentially meet Harris on the debate stage again. Some people have been trying to convince him to do so. So far, it has not been successful, Anderson. It's mostly reporters, and as I said, I'm not calling it a spin room, I'm calling it a spin closet because it is quite constrained. Typically, they've been pretty open areas, and remember Donald Trump came into this spin room that's quite large. It's about mainly Secret Service officers, which are the ones standing behind me doing their jobs, and of course a lot of surrogates in here. We're going to get all their perspectives.
Yes, I'm right next to that. Could go outside if you're asking. What did he say for his little bit of answer to this question? Oh, okay.
What's up? Okay.
Copy that. Good.
Yeah, I understand.
All right, guys, I need everyone to step
Away from her. Away from her. Can we trade spots? I don't think that was good. We gave up our spot.
That debate, this is the final word.
Honestly, I think people can look at the world, what's going on right now. You saw the attacks today. You see the strikes from the longshoremen. You see what's going on in the grocery stores. And I don't honestly think that you can get even a remotely fair debate from mainstream media. I don't think it makes any sense. I think the American people have had 4 years under the Harris-Biden administration. They've had 4 years under Donald Trump. When were you better off? When were you safer? We went from a time of peace to a time of war. We went from a time of prosperity to a time of poverty. This is a no-brainer. I don't think a debate is going to change that at this point, and certainly not the way it was handled last time, which I think was just honestly disgusting. So, I don't think it makes sense. I think people have to look at where they are. They have to feel, do they feel safer? Do they feel more prosperous? The answer is no. The statistics all back that up. We can fix this. My father wants Americans to thrive, not barely survive. They've been barely surviving for the last few years, and it's because of the policies of Kamala Harris. Again, I understand that the media is trying to pretend she's a moderate, magically. In 3 weeks she became a moderate when she got... Whatever you need to hear to get your vote. And then she'll do whatever they want. They did that with fracking in the 2020 debate. Everyone raised their hand. They would ban it in a second. Then when they debated my father, no, we would never do that. And the media went full swing, pretending that, of course, they would never do that. Then on day one, Keystone Pipeline signed tens of thousands of good jobs for hardworking Americans canceled and gone. Right? So we import oil from Iran now, the world's leading state sponsor of terror, launching missiles today at Israel from Venezuela, a regime we didn't recognize. Yeah, minor details like that. Yeah, you call someone what they've called him for long enough, and obviously that was on purpose, but they couldn't take him out with impeachment. They're trying to bankrupt his businesses, to try to put him in jail. Everyone knows what's going on. I think they're fed up of it.
I heard him talk directly to moderates over and over tonight, which is so important because some of these key battleground states, it's going to come down to a couple hundred votes, maybe a couple thousand votes. What's it going to take in these final couple weeks here? I mean, we're less than 40 days out. What's it going to take to just break through to those people?
Listen, I think they get it. Obviously, it's not a fair fight, whether it's a debate that's sort of biased or just general coverage, right? I understand how hard it is, and I understand where I come from, too. And I'm blessed. For average Americans right now, the people I hang out with on weekends, they're struggling. It hurts. They see that each and every day. They just have to look at where they are. Do you think your kids are going to have a better future? I don't think so. Like I said, I think we were achieving that. Low income wages for the lowest income earners were going up under Trump. That's gone. That's been displaced. Each and every policy that my father did started working, and that was against a brutal media. That was against rhino Republicans doing whatever they could. So it's always hard to break through because you have $1 trillion in mainstream media literally functioning as the marketing department for the other side. They're doing the whole Kamala Harris is a moderate. It's like, well, what about her record? Oh, well, that doesn't count. It's different now. It's not different. It's never going to be different.
You look proud tonight. I mean, I see it in your face. You sound emotional.
I just want to make sure we have good. I want to make sure to stay close to this.
Are you tall?
I think that's pretty dangerous to stand on that step stool when people are going to rush for it, just for your own safety. I think that's a mistake.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I'll hold it. I'll hold it. I'll hold it.
you'll fall.
We were okay earlier, but I agree with you. There might be a rush for Mr. Vance.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go back to
Stays there.
What's that?
Yellow question as soon as when he's done. When he's done, so he stands. So we're all framed up for him right here.
Understood. Oh yeah. Hey, Hussein, can I get in front of you for the mic? No. Like, is there room?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But you can.
Maybe I'll. Can I go around?
No, you can go on, I guess.
Yeah, maybe I can go around. Yeah. Is that okay?
You staying there?
Yeah.
If we start moving, you're going to be crushed.
You're right.
I'm telling you.
No, you're right. You're right.
Hello.
There's a whole line.
I know, but we're moving this way, not this way. That's what I mean. We don't know what's going to happen.
All right.
Don't stand up there. All right.
So concerned about the guy running for vice president when they themselves can't afford to vote. There's a generosity of spirit in this country that is so amazing. We need a leader who actually matches up with that generosity. A leader who's fit to lead the greatest stage in the world. We don't have it now. I think we're about to have it starting. In my defense, Sean, there's so much to whack on. I had 90 minutes. I didn't have 4 hours. She bragged about the Green New Scam, which of course is one of the main drivers of energy and food crisis. She bragged about the stuff that happened in America to suffer from it. Now, you made a good point. She hasn't answered for it. Well, Sean, in her defense, she hasn't answered for anything because she refuses to sit down for interviews. And this is, okay, like, honestly, yeah. No, Sean, I legitimately believe, no kidding, that you would be a much more fair interviewer with Kamala Harris than, for example, like Dana Bash was with me. But you go on Dana Bash's show, you go on Sean Hannity, you go wherever you can, because if you want to be the vice president of the United States, you ought to earn it. You ought to get out there and talk to the American people. I think it's the most scandalous part of her entire campaign is that she's running from a face, hiding from the very people that she wants to lead. Or you have a contrast of how the president wants, but is so eager to get out there and make his case to the American people that he's doing multiple rallies, multiple interviews with leaders. That is the kind of guy with the energy that you need to actually run this country. Like an 11.
This is a big moment. There's only 70 million people or so watching.
Exactly. It's a very big moment, and yeah, I saw it as an opportunity to look directly at the American school and communicate the ways in which I saw we could do it.
Right? There was one person ahead of you, if I'm not mistaken.
No, there were a lot of people ahead of me, including my wife. I think she was number one. Yeah, she was way ahead of me. But you know, man, I just it's such a cool opportunity to get to talk to the American people, to get to make the case to them, to get to remind them that like Kamala Harris's policy is possible to make it about policy, because I think that's where it comes from. Such a much better president these days. Sean, it's rising when you look at the wages of the working class people, black, brown, white, whatever their skin color, and it basically kind of stagnates for like 30 years. And then all of a sudden this thing happens where it shoots right up. And that's the presidency of Donald J. Trump. It's an amazing record to run on. And not only were their wages of all these working people with every skin color going up, but then inflation was between 1.5% and 2% the entire time that he was president. It's the best economic record for any president, at least since World War II. And man, it's just like, look, I'm running with I love to brag on Donald Trump's economic record. Families like mine.
Yeah.
Where says it?
Amazing story.
Not a bad story. You just didn't get to the final job.
That's exactly right.
35 days. You believe it?
35 days. I can't believe it, but I think we're in a sprint. We're going to work as hard as we can for every single vote. Look, man, I feel amazing about the polls. If you look at the pollsters who've been most accurate, actually we're in a better place than we were in 2016. Of course, Donald Trump won the election in 2016. Yeah, I mean, look, I feel very good about it. I think the energy is great. You mentioned my mom. She's probably watching now. I love you, Mom. I'm proud of you. She's been clean and sober, by the way, for almost 10 years. And the American dream is an American dream of second chances, right? People, yeah, they fall off the horse, but they keep on getting back on. And I think that we need leadership that makes those second chances possible. That is what the presidency of Donald Trump represents. It's not just about red team versus blue team. Like, yeah, I want to beat the Democrats, and it'll be fun on November 5th to beat the Democrats. If Donald Trump is the next president, like this was about like that is what yes. My mammal is smiling from heaven. I'm running for vice president of the greatest country in the world. What a cool thing in front of me. What a great president.
Stay back. All right. Okay. Sorry. All right. You got a little space, will you? Stack for me. Stay where you
win this debate?
Guys, stay back.
This way. Yeah.
Senator Vance, did you win?
Everybody. Stay where you are, guys. Yep.
Senator Vance.
Stay where you are. Senator Vance.
Guys, stay where you are. Hi, Senator Vance. Guys, I said stay back, everybody. And now Don Jr. is sitting down here.
Is that it?
No, be careful of the water. It's wet.